Howdy watch fans, hope your new year is off to a great start. Here's wishing you all the best in the coming year. For this episode, I share a bit of my recent visit to Kurono Tokyo Salon in Aoyama. So if you dig Kurono and curious about the salon, hey, stick around. So, during the opening days of 2024, I found myself wandering around Tokyo visiting family and friends. And after a few days of visiting family and friends, I made a quick trip to Hajime Asaoka's Kurono Tokyo Salon in the posh Aoyama neighborhood of Tokyo. During my January trip to Tokyo, I was staying in the Nihonbashi area, making the easiest route to the Kurono Tokyo Salon a 25-minute trip on foot and train using the Ginza line. So, for my little adventure to Aoyama, I hopped on the Ginza line via Mitsukoshimae Station across from my hotel, and after a short 17-minute ride, I got off at the Gaenmae Station. I took a 4-minute walk from exit 3 of the Gaenmae Station, finding myself right in front of the quaint little salon located in one of the side streets off of the Stadium Road. So, before going into my impression of the salon experience, maybe we need a little bit of information on Hajime Asaoka and the Kurono Tokyo brand. Now, according to its own website, Hajime Asaoka was born in 1965 in Kanagawa Prefecture, the second most populous prefecture in Japan, located directly south of Tokyo. Mr. Asaoka graduated from the prestigious Tokyo University of the Arts, which is the only national art school in Japan, graduating in 1990 with an undergraduate degree in fine art from the design department. According to a brief on Hajime Asaoka on the Maxima Gallery website, after graduating from university, Hajime worked as an assistant researcher and established the Hajime Asaoka Design Office. Mr. Asaoka worked as a designer and was one of the first people in Japan to work with 3D rendering design work. His design chops included everything from photography, retouching, editing, and computer graphics. The brief on the Maxima website alludes to the fact that Mr. Asaoka's design work really showcased his eagerness to control every aspect of quality, something that manifests in his watchmaking prowess in later years. From these early years, we see Hajime Asaoka's legend start to form. In 2004, Hajime Asaoka started researching watchmaking and the manufacturing process, and by 2009 created his first watch, the X1 Tourbillon, an experimental tourbillon that would be the predecessor to his first consumer watch product, the Tourbillon 1, released in 2011. And there's very little wonder why Hajime Asaoka's legends start to grow around this period. I mean, think about it, from designer to creator of a tourbillon watch. I think for most watch people, that is just a confounding leap. In 2012, we see the release of the Tsunami, followed by the Project T tourbillon in 2014, the Tourbillon Pura by 2016, and then his chronograph project in 2017. With each successive release, Hajime Asaoka's legend as an independent watchmaker started to grow. And in 2023, we see the release of the Tourbillon Noir, his latest watchmaking project. So with all this watchmaking wizardry, you might be asking yourself, where does Hajime Asaoka's Kurono fit into this picture? Well, the answer is quite simple, really. See, by 2019, the watchmaker had only produced 19 watches. Hajime Asaoka's 3-hand simple Tsunami commands a price of $25,000. A Project T tourbillon watch, $80,000, and his chronograph, forget about it. It's about $120,000. All of this basically means that Hajime Asaoka's work is of a limited and seriously expensive nature, right? So essentially, Kurono came about because Hajime Asaoka's desire to make his designs available to a wider audience, one that can't get their hands on the uber limited and desired pieces of watchmaking art, can get their hands on the more accessible Kurono brand. And with that bit of background, we come full circle to the Kurono Tokyo Salon in Aoyama. As the website states, the salon was designed by Mr. Asaoka and serves as a hub for Kurono fans visiting Tokyo to stop by and experience a bit of that Kurono mystique while handling some of their interesting and hard-to-get models. So what did I think about the Kurono Watch Salon visit? Well, let me do this by sharing my 3 favorite points about the salon experience. Point number 1, welcoming atmosphere. Now watch fans, I have to admit that I was a little bit nervous entering the salon as I really didn't know what to expect. Here I was, a simple watch enthusiast that didn't own a Kurono watch, making my way into what the website calls a hub for Kurono enthusiasts. I started asking myself, am I a Kurono enthusiast? Did I belong in the Kurono salon? Honestly, I didn't know what exactly to make of a watch place of business that doesn't sell a watch. I mean, when you walk into a watch shop, the relationship with the proprietor is pretty simple. Hello, my name is so-and-so, and I would like to see what you have for sale, please. So, I walked into the quaint little salon with a little bit of apprehension in the unfamiliar nature of the situation. Of course, this bit of apprehension was all a bunch of nonsense and quickly faded away after a friendly and polite greeting from the lone salon staff member and the nice bit of conversation that happened afterwards. And point number 2, style cues. Now, the customer area of the Kurono Salon is really not that large, measuring perhaps a little less than 450 square feet or 41 square meters. The salon was a little bit lower than street level, so you step down into it. Immediately you face a display case along the wall and the salon attendant station directly in front. The salon's compact space opens up to the left with a clean display case with stools and a small lounge area with some very fancy looking chairs that, my sweaty butt probably shouldn't sit in, and so I wisely decided not to sit in them. To the right of the main display case is a shelf prominently featuring a few unique items. For example, there is a unique looking model train along with some small plants, Kurono watches obviously, Japanese whiskey, and some books. Apparently, Hajime Asaoka actually designed the actual Kurono salon itself, so customers or fans of the Kurono watch also get a feel for his other design work. All in all, I really appreciated the simple, modern, and clean design elements of the salon. Point number 3, handling the watches. Without a doubt, the best part of visiting the Kurono Tokyo Salon is the ability to pick up and handle the Kurono watches that are well past their distribution date and sitting comfortably in the watch cases of watch enthusiasts around the world. Given the limited and challenging nature of getting your hands on a Kurono watch at launch, the salon gives this great opportunity to handle, feel, and look closely at certain Kurono watches, and it all starts to make sense in terms of the purpose of the salon. During my visit to the salon, the attendant brought out some really interesting models, including the Special Projects Midnight, Chronograph 2 White, the 2023 Anniversary Calendar Azuki, the GMT1. I was also able to look at some classic series watches such as the Classic Series Seiji, the Green Kurono Anniversary Mori, Coral Kurono Anniversary Toki, the Kurono 2nd Series Reiwa. It was, for all intents and purposes, a Kurono tsunami of models. And they even had the jade-colored Chronograph 3 Hisui in a glass display case. Unfortunately, I was not able to handle it, but had a pretty close look, and boy, it's a beauty. As a self-confessed chronograph junkie, one of my favorite watches on display was the Chronograph 2 White or Shiro, with its classic chronograph aesthetics and simple white and gray dial with red markings. It was quite beautiful. One thing I quickly noticed while handling all of the watches were the small size of the watches. For example, the Special Projects Midnight watch was only 34mm and it felt absolutely tiny in my hands. The Classic Series Seiji registered at 37mm and the lovely Chronograph 2 Shiro was nowhere near the larger sizes we expect from modern watches these days and came in at only 38mm. As I said, the Chronograph 2 Shiro was really a nice watch. Simple, elegant, classic chronograph in a polished steel case. The watch attendant mentioned that Kurono watches are driven by flagship Miyota and Seiko movements, with the Chronograph 2 Shiro featuring Seiko's S2 NE86, a movement featuring 34 jewels and a 45-hour power reserve running at 28.8 vibrations per hour. And to be honest, watch fans, I can go on and on about the various watches on display. But I think like most watches, nothing beats getting to know a watch by feeling it in your hands and admiring how it looks on your wrist. And I guess that's what Hajime Asaoka's vision was. An opportunity for anyone interested in Kurono watches to come into the salon and talk about the watches while trying one out and really enjoying Kurono watches firsthand. So there you have it, watch fans. A little about my short visit to Hajime Asaoka's Kurono Tokyo Salon in Aoyama. All in all, it was a great experience and a recommended stop if you are in Tokyo. The Aoyama district also has many things to offer, so why not make it a stopover on your way to the Meiji Jingu or National Stadium, or take in the shop on your way to the Tokyo Yakult Swallows game. As we say around these parts, whether you are sporting a classic Kurono Chronograph 3 or a G-Shock Mudmaster, you do you. In the words of the great Humpty Hump from the Digital Underground, do what you like. Peace.